What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If are here, and today I am going to tell you guys about the what if Deku met a dragon girl. Now, if you guys, hopefully you guys are doing all right. I was supposed to do a video a couple of days ago, but what recently happened was that I fasted for 7 days, and basically, I was too weak and tired to do a lot of stuff that I would faint a couple of times. Basically, this was because of religious reasons. I was depressed, and I thought to myself, why don't I become stronger and train while also not eating to get myself used to and accustomed to mentally preparing my head for some sorts. And not only that, I've gone through my own depression, but yeah, you guys don't want to hear that. What you guys want to hear is the what if. Now, we start off as a 4-year-old Izuku after being laughed at by Bakugo, laughed at by his friend, soon to be bully Bakugo, as Izuku made his way into a forest. This forest is pretty big, and Izuku decided to go in it, knowing that there's possibly quirked animals around. He decides to keep himself cautious. But today he felt particularly upset. He knows that he has no quirk, and for that he feels very depressed. Izuku knows that there's no way that he can get one, but he's hoping. He's really hoping to get himself something, anything that can help him out. But he feels like maybe this will be all useless, as the shadows of doubt loom around him, such as the branches are to a tree. On a sunny day, everything is covered by shadows. So, yeah, it's kind of poetic. Not poetic. Kind of fits the way it is right now. But Izuku sees a cave and sees a woman in the what's called along the way, with horns, a tail, and wings. Him actually wondering if she's okay, decides to run to her. Seeing that she's bleeding and bruising, Izuku sees that she's, what is the word? He sees that she's, injured. The bruise on her face, she has gash wounds on her body, and not only that, she has burn marks on her arms. She looks very hurt, but doesn't even show it, as she eats a creature. As she eats a boar with a hardening quirk. She looks over to him and says, "Yes, child, who are you?" And this is when Izuku says, "My name is Izuku, miss." And she says, "Oh, a young man who's well-mannered. I like that. You don't seem to be an enemy of mine, nor do you seem to be some sort of a spy. I can only detect that you are sad, though. Interesting." As she moves to lean over to bend over towards him to get a better look, she winces in pain because her leg actually has a hole, or it has an arrow wound, an arrow mark on it. While Izuku noticed that, he says that, "Hey, miss, do you need some help?" And she says, "No, no, I do not need help, especially from somebody as pathetic as you. That would be a little too, how should I say this, humiliating." As she says that, Izuku says, "Here, I have some stuff that you can probably use." She says, "Oh, do tell, what is it?" And this is when Izuku grabs, well, he grabs a couple of band-aids and some, what is it called? Oh, he grabs a band-aid and a couple of wraps that he had, since he would get, injured a couple of times from school, since he was pretty much that like of a toothpick. She looks at him curiously and says, "What are these?" And Izuku says, "This is a band-aid and these are bandages." And she says, "Really, I do not need your help. Don't make me get mad." And Izuku says, "You don't need to get mad, you just need help." And she says, "What can you do to help me?" And Izuku says, "Look at this. Because I'm going to be a hero one day." Her head switching due to a certain hero that actually fought her and ended up wounding her. She sees that Izuku puts a band-aid on her leg, which had the arrow that pierced it. Izuku says, "All right, pain, go away." And this is when he starts to actually, ask her if she can sit down for a second. Her, being amused by his childish antics, says, "Okay, fine." Seeing that Izuku's bandaging each wound that she has, saying the same catchphrase, pain, go away. And realizing that this is still a child, and she was foolish to think that he was mocking her. He doesn't even know what she is, even though, despite the fact that she has pretty much the looks of her draconic features are there. Sorry. Even though her draconic features are there, he is still a child, so he wouldn't know any better. Now, while this goes on, she talks to him and says, "Hey, boy, where are we at?" And Izuku says, "Oh, I am Izuku Midoriya." And I am scared. And she says, "Oh, why are you scared?" And this is when Izuku tells her that, "You're hurt. I don't want you to get hurt badly. It could potentially kill you." And she says, "That's kind of cute. But you have no need to worry about me. I can heal myself properly after I get some rest." Oh, give me a second, guys. Sorry about that. Headphones died. But either way, Izuku just ends up telling her that, yes, but I've seen people in the hospital where my mom works at. She's seen people get injured, and when they look like this, oh, sorry. When they look like this, they die. She starts to snore in laughter and tells Izuku that I'm not an ordinary woman. I have power far beyond your imagination. I can travel places you've never been. I can fight the strongest amongst your people and come out on top. I have hold reign against kingdoms before, due to them opposing me. I am an evil dragon. And Izuku says, you're a dragon? She says, an evil dragon, but yes. And Izuku says, wait a minute, so how come you were hurt? How come you were hurt? And this is when she starts getting upset and saying that because at some point while I was taking my nap, a group of people decided to sneak up on me and started to attack me. Even though I didn't know that was going on, I got punched in the face. Not only that, I got shot on the leg by by some sort of ranger lady. Not to mention a paladin decides to strike me down with all of his might, causing me to bleed, healing myself as much as I can. These people forced me out. But not before the wizard. I couldn't remember his name since they yelled it out. Was it Galileo? I don't know. But if I ever see them again, I will rip out their hearts. I will make sure that their flesh is smeared across my face as I chew them apart one by one. And as I stomp on them, there will be nothing more than ash and pulp. And Izuku, looking at her with such kind eyes, saying that, but you're okay now, so if you're alive, that means that one day you'll fight back the... Are they good guys or they're bad guys? Him getting scared, but even so, more curious about what he says, starts to do something that actually kind of freaked her out. He started his first ability ever. He started the power of mumbling, which at first she understood a couple of words, but then it grew faster and faster and faster until Izuku pretty much caught her in a dazed, to where she was so confused that for a second she almost fell due to her stumbling after standing for so long. Now, with this, she looks down on Izuku. Sorry. Looks down at Izuku and says that you don't seem to be very happy, though. I remember sensing something like that on you. Almost as if it smelled delicious. Izuku says, wait, you can smell my thoughts? She says, no. Forget I even said it. no need talking to a child about such hard, uh, what is it? Oh, what was I gonna say? Such hard discussions with someone who doesn't understand language just yet. But where are we yet again? I don't remember. And he says, "Oh yes, we're in a place called Japan, or to be clear, we're in a country known as Asia." And she says, Asia, Japan. Okay. I don't know all of what's happening, but I do know one thing. I'm stuck in this world right now, but eventually I'll leave. She notices that Izuku was kind of sad right there. And she says, "Don't worry. I won't be gone immediately. But for now, as much as I would like to run this domain, this isn't my home. I want to go back to my other world. The world where pretty much I was feared." And Izuku says, "I see. Well, I'm going to try to become a pro hero." And she said, "Pro hero? What is a pro hero?" And Izuku explains pretty much everything from All Might to Miss to Recovery Girl. And explains pretty much like the new what they do. And she says that she has no need for that, and asks him, "What are quirks?" And Izuku says, "Oh yes. Well, as I told you as I explained, pro heroes pretty much save people with their quirks. This is what people have when they're born. Although there isn't a lot of people who have quirks." And she says, "There's not a lot of people who have quirks. Tell me, do you have one?" This is when Izuku looked down in sadness. With him looking down, she realized that she touched on something that maybe she shouldn't have touched to begin with. Izuku says that he's pronounced quirkless, and therefore he really can't do anything. But he decides that he wants to become a hero either way. And with that, she says that, you know what? Call it a favor for a favor. Even though I didn't need your help, you decide to go out of your way to help me. And not only that, even when I told you that I was an evil dragon, you weren't concerned about that. You were more concerned about my health. No child, or better yet, no man, has ever worried about me the way you have. For that, your kindness alone has shown me that maybe not all of you are bad. So, I will train you." And Izuku says, "Train me? Train me to do what?" This is when she explains that you have a abundance of ki around you, almost as if it pulls itself towards you. And believe me, I can sense these things. You may not have this so-called quirk, but you do have ki. And if you can use ki, and you train your body every day to become the strongest it could be, you can do such amazing things, young boy. Now, let me tell you my name. I am known by two names only. One is my humanoid name, since people fear my true form. I'll tell you this though. My name's Elizabeth. It was the first name. This is the name I took when I conquered the one kingdom, and I took the princess's name for myself. And I decided that it fit me. But over the years, I was also called a different name in my dragon form. Plunder. Plunder? She says that in due time you'll understand all about me. But I want to help you out. For one day you will be of service to me. And maybe more if you prove yourself. And this is when Izuku says, "Okay, so what are you gonna teach me?" Elizabeth tells her, "I'm going to teach you martial arts." And he says, "You know how to do martial arts?" She's. This is when, my bad. Izuku says, "You're gonna teach me martial arts?" And Elizabeth tells him, "Yes, I will. I will teach you martial arts. You will become a monk." And he says, "What is a monk?" She says, "They're people that train their bodies and minds in order to do beautiful things. I've seen them before. Even though they don't have the strength or the weaponry of other adventurers, they possess a sort of elegance to their fighting style, almost as if each attack always counted. And they have fought me in the past. Well, everybody fought me in the past, but if you haven't realized it, kid, this scar, this bruise on my cheek, this was caused by a monk. And normal things can't hurt me as much. If you were to hit me, if an adult man was to punch me, it will tickle, but it wouldn't cause a bruise. But that man punched me so hard that my skin was in pain for 2 hours. It's been 6 hours since I sat here. And then I met you. But in time, you will see how deadly you can be. You can see how formidable you can be. You can do anything. You can even conquer this city. And Izuku looks at her and says, "Yes, but as much as that would be good, I don't want to conquer the city. I want to be a hero and protect the people." And she says, "I forgot. For that second, you're a bleeding heart of some sorts. But that won't matter. I will teach you either way. Just come with me, Izuku. And Izuku just walks with her. And he says that this forest will be your training ground. I am known for the way of the fist. For that has been something that I've wanted to do all my life. I've trained my body to become the strongest dragon. I may not be the strongest yet, but I do know with my help and your ki, the abundance that you have in general, you're going to do amazing things, little boy. And that is it for part 1. I'm decided to making these shorter. That way you guys can at least enjoy them. And I can make more. And you guys won't have to hear a whole long story. But instead, hear a shorter version. Hear a short story without having to just keep going on and on and on. These are like bite-sized for now. But once I get back to my rhythm, I'm hopefully I get to do... Oh, sheesh, hiccups again. Hopefully I get to do better content. But I hope you guys are doing fine. Like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. I need to find out. You know, maybe I probably have a new ending phrase. Goodbye, my little bobbleheads, and have fun.